pay attention and think of it, what I'm going to talk, what Vaibhav was saying just now, that is how the contemplation and reflection should work. So Vaibhav was saying that it broke his routine because he was in a hospital for some illness, and then his mind made a statement, and it is quite interesting. We all make that statement. So he says that, oh, it becomes difficult to return to the routine again. Is it not so? If it is applicable to you, simple answer is that we have lot of impressions, or what we call the vasana is still present in the mind, and it results into ignorance, impurity, and projection. And then I asked a simple question. If I have a habit of drinking coffee, can I break the routine of coffee? No. My mind returns to again, oh, I did not have a coffee. Let me have it. Let me have it. But when it comes to the routine of the Eastern wisdom, it breaks up and it takes time to return to it. It takes time. So we have to learn from our own experiences. We all are seekers. But then he also made a very good statement that when I was in the hospital, so I gave a pause to my mind if mind was going in a different direction. And so the simple answer, if you are learning and understanding these principles of Eastern wisdom, it will definitely help you in times of your stress, in times of anxiety, in times of the suffering, provided you are a seeker. Again, because only the seeker returns to that state. You missed a couple of the things, Christina, so once you get the audio file, so you have to listen to that. It may interest you. In your profession also, you can talk to your clients also. So understanding is very important. So what is that understanding? The viveka is maintained 24/7. Discernment and dispassion is maintained 24/7. But it is only maintained if we are a bit higher level of a seeker. If we are lower level of a seeker, any impulsive nature, I have an extreme pain in the knee. What should I do? Do you want me to practice meditation? I cannot do it. No, 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 please practice meditation. No, I cannot do it. I have an extreme pain. My power of discernment is not able to recognize at that moment that I'm not the body. Even you think that I'm not the body, let me go into meditation. Are you getting it? So awakening is not an easy task, but still it is an easy task for a seeker. Remember this. Take an example. I missed it. Som Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So there are two things. You can say I went on vacation to New Jersey for about 2 weeks, but I did not leave any single session. So I arranged everything accordingly. I said, no, I will continue with the session. But what? A vacation is just for the pleasure, but pleasure is not outside. Do I have that level of awareness that the pleasure is not outside? The daughter asked me, no, you have to come here. I got a new house. So, yes, I went there. And accordingly, I adjusted the routine so that I will remain in contact with the journey of the East and West. And while teaching, I remain in contact. My mind did not see the vacation gives me the pleasure. Myself is of the nature of peace and happiness. Can you do that? Then I'll leave everything, all the principles of the Eastern wisdom. I will just enter into all kinds of pleasure. You are missing something. Are you getting it? Your mind is driven by that pleasure. It simply means that intellectually I understand happiness is my nature, but there is a big but. Maybe some of you might be thinking that this guy seems to be crazy. I'm going on a vacation and he's asking me. But we need that craziness in order to recognize that peace and happiness are my essential needs. Wherever you go, what do you go on vacation? The same house, same food, in a new way. Can you recognize that? Can you live into that awareness 24 by 7? That is the power of discernment and discretion. My daughter also thought of it, but later on she realized that, no. Let me make everything available to you. So this preparation phase, or you can say, to remain as a seeker 24 by 7 is a big challenge. In the midst of challenges that we receive from the world outside, in relationship, in eating, in food, etc., long list. So the modern coaching uses, they have abbreviated. They say it's a work method. WARK, abbreviated. And we have been using it. We have been using it for the last 8 or 10,000 years. What is work method? V means the visual, auditory. Visual, A means auditory method, R means read and write method, and K means kinesthetic method. In modern coaching, visual method, you attend the session visually with auditory. That is very important. So we see that we say the master in a seeker tradition, in which the seeker is always ready, committed, and it's a visual method. We have been doing it for so many years. An auditory method, I always send the digital file to you. Do you listen to it? To remind myself, to change my mind, to change my impulses. If I don't listen, followed by contemplation and reflection. You see, we have added a new thing, which is not normally added in the in the modern coaching and mentoring methods. So we say, no, after listening, you contemplate and reflect on it. And after that, prepare a main points, either in your head or in your smartphone or anywhere. You just make let me make the 5 points. 5 points of today's lesson. That is read and write method. And what is kinesthetic method? You have to do the practice, hands-on experience. If you follow this, or if you want to know the modern coaching method, it's very scientific. So you can use the word work. If you don't use it, I am sick, I have to take medicine. I cannot force you to take medicine to take care of me. So that's why. So I have to think, speak, and act on these lines. This guy is a friend of yours. You go to anywhere together, and that guy, you recognize their impulsive nature, and you remind yourself, oh, I should not have this impulsive nature in my life. It will help you to remind to live in the discernment and dispassion. Remember, our goal is the highest. Where is our goal is the awakening. Where is the awakening? I experience that real self all the time, in all the location, in all the relationship. So this body, mind, intellect, behavior, and attitude should have to change according to the real self. Mind, my impulsive nature should not dictate on the real self. That is what Weber was saying in the way. I understand it intellectually, but then it becomes a big challenge. So here the work method works. Yes, modern coaching is also, but we have a 4 connections. I discussed about it on Saturday's session. And model of this 4 connection works very well if we really understand clearly. So the first part, I made it very clear that preparation, it means that I have to be a qualified seeker if I apply the work method daily. What is the second one? Second is the subject matter. We simply say subject matter, and modern coaching says goal setting. We say subject matter and they say goal setting. It's the same thing. What is the final goal of my life? End of suffering. Do I remember I have to bring an end of the suffering? I need to be a seeker and I should have a faith in the journey of the Eastern West. Both are required. How much I'm earning? Maybe $100,000. So in 5 years, I want to earn $10 million. So I need to have a faith in myself. Same thing in a different way. Goal setting or Vishya. What is the subject matter? I don't know the real self. Even though I have done the practices, I'm following the journey of the Eastern wisdom. I am able to manage a lot of challenges in my life. Now I minimize my anxiety and duality and a conflict. There is a sense of clarity in my personal, professional, and social life. I don't I don't fall into anxiety and reaction to my honey. I withdraw myself. All those changes have taken place. That gives you a faith in the subject matter. So subject matter is the final goal end of suffering, one, and awakening to the first. you bring an end to the suffering in your personal, professional, social life at all the time, and then only the awakening takes place. These are the two processes. Then, where is the fourfold connection? So there are three aspects, and then we connect them. It becomes very easy for us to connect. You know, in in modern method of coaching and mentoring, you have to go through many subjective questionnaires, and you have to goal setting, short-term goal, long-term goal. Short-term goal will take care of itself. You should have a long-term goal. Then the what exactly is the purpose? Purpose. What is the purpose? Subject matter is knowing the real self, and thus you see that I mixed up both. And what is the result? What is the purpose? End of suffering and awakening too. So I want to know the real self. Now the seeker transforms into the real self. So I'm not spending a lot of time. So the three aspects, the subject matter, reserved, preparation phase means that I'm a qualified seeker. Now you, all the three, you do the permutation and combination. Qualified seeker connected to the subject matter. Qualified seeker connected to the reserve. Come on, how should I have an anxiety? What is my purpose? Purpose. And the power of discernment takes over you and you change yourself. Oh, no, 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 I have a lot of expectations, unfounded worries. Oh, let me withdraw myself. Are you getting it? Practical, pragmatic. How? Work method. You can remember the work method. I have yet to find out the abbreviation through the Eastern wisdom. That is why I have been saying, asking you, do you practice the japa every day? It also should remind you, do you listen to it? Did you make a maybe 3 and 4 points? You have extracted the 4 points that should go into your memory and you remember it. You remind yourself. Life will change. I can bet you. But if you don't follow this, maybe visual method, you see someone in stress, your mind reminds you it is because of the ignorance or impurity or the projection. So that guy is helping you. Work method. We see the visual method in such a way. I've been living in stress for the last 10 years. Internally, your mind, intellect analyzes, discerns. I is living in ignorance. Am I also living in ignorance? You withdraw your mind to yours after visual method. Auditory method is just the listening and learning, contemplation, reflection. In that respect, I'm asking question every time. Are you practicing japa? Means are you following everything? I can bet you that it will change your personal, professional, social, family life. It has to change. Why? Because as a seeker, you have changed. You're a husband, but internally you recognize a seeker is talking to the honey. Come on. Seeker is talking to the son and the daughter. Seeker is talking to in a professional life. Seeker, now you recognize it. Does a seeker allow impulsive nature to take over? We know the answer. The last session, I make it very clear. It is the mantra, the Mangala Charan, 4 groups of practices. Do you remember? If you don't, so recall it. What is the mental purification? I gave you the four types of intellect. If yes, then do you possess the 4 powers of intellect? Answer yourself. Do you still remember? Or you have forgotten? Do you find the changes? I have said in the beginning, but I give a pause in the mind. That gives some idea. Yes, you are using some power of intellect. We're not criticizing anyone here. We're just trying to understand. And then you recognize this intellect has become famous, means the discernment, dispassion, and the 6th treasure have become famous in my life, means that it is always with me. Did you get it? That is why I discussed uh, in a different way. So, and all these aspects you can summarize, you can put into under the engagement, education, empowerment, evolution, and enlightenment. 5E or 5S. I'm into anxiety. What practice I need to do it? Let me remind. I'm not able to remind myself. Gone. I'm not a seeker. Are you getting it? We are going deeper. I've been telling you. I said recognize. No, no, but I became angry. It's okay. Learn from your experience. So discernment says I should not have been, I should have replied in a different way, or I should have acted in this way. Go back. You start expressing in that way with discernment and dispassion. Don't build your ego. Drop it. There and then. That is the meaning of the first S, the sadhana. Sadhana is not that I've done the practice for 1 hour in the morning. Now throughout the day, my mind is wandering and projecting. It will not work. That is why I said the higher level of a seeker. So sadhya means that I remember the goal of life, and siddha means that there is a progression. I progress. Today I did not get upset. I was able to maintain that state of the calmness and the poise in the same situation which I used to get upset. So you are learning from your experiences. So now you are a seeker. And the 5th one is the sadhu, the inner monk. You become a monk inside. People will definitely make fun of you in the beginning, that you did not respond to the reaction of others. Let them make fun of it. Your power of discernment will say, yes, this act is right in my life. But gradually, once you are a seeker of that level, the people will recognize your power, recognize the power of wisdom in you. Anyhow, so we have, so this is another way to put the summary before we start with the Sadhana Panchkam. Panchkam means 5. Sadhana means you already know the practice. Panchkam here means the 5 verses. 5 Sanskrit verse. Every verse has 8 steps. So total 40 steps. Many of it you have done it, but now this is systematically highly structured and organized. This master, it blows my mind. He has referred more than 3,000 texts and he compressed into only the 5 verses. Last time I gave you some idea that these 40 steps helps me to recognize and realize that I'm seeing the real self when the mind is like a transparent mirror. I recognize and experience the self knows the self by itself. That is the journey. No outer agency, no sense organ, no mind, no ego can ever find the real self. Knowledge of the self, knowledge of the sun, light of the sun. The sun lights itself. We don't need a candle. That real self is of the nature of all pervading consciousness. So it has to recognize. Just think of a geometry theorem. We have to prove it. Yes, this is true. That is sadhana. Logically. In we have more than I told you 3,000 texts, and every text begins with a specific context. So if you don't have the traditional learning from the master and a disciple tradition, it becomes very challenging to you which text and which school to follow. For example, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the first chapter gives you the brief of the entire journey. We leave that. For us, yoga is the eight Ashtanga yoga, yoga is the asana and the pranayama, but we forget, we miss why asana is practiced. That is explained in the chapter. So every master starts from the different principle, context is different because of the nature of the individual, the temperament. One says, I have a lot of stress and anxiety. I have to start the program in a different way. Others says, no, I want to know the real self. I'm okay as far as I'm relaxed and calm, but I want to know what does this journey look like. So the journey should be different. But these 40 steps summarizes the journey from A to Z for all kinds of people, provided we have a faith and we follow the journey. So we have reached to that state of a seeker so that we can continue. Now, another unique feature of this Sadhana Panchkam, it is instructional. It is instructional. It is direct teaching. The master says, do this practice. Why he says do this practice? Because he understands that I have written this text for a seeker. I should have taken in the very beginning. You understand that? So the practice is understood. And it is simple and direct instruction in a very structured fashion. In the end, in the last 5 steps, we talk of how many types of realization and awakening is. Oh, this is also awakening. Yes, this is also awakening. Yes, this is also. I told you, it refers to all types of seekers, provided you are a seeker. Now it covers, according to Eastern wisdom, all the 4 stages of life. You are a student, you are an adult, and you have to treat the path. Yes. So we say the life of education, learning about life. That is the first phase of our life of relationship, family, society, profession, in which we take an experience of all kinds of pleasure. We work professionally, family, we have a family. That is the second second phase of life. So once we understand it, we said enough of the pleasures, enough of the vacations, Now is the time, let me withdraw through the path of discernment and dispassion. That is the third phase of life. So, yes, I have experienced this pleasure. Why to repeat it again? No, but the society says, oh, your son says, no, come on, come to me, spend some time. It will be your vacation, but you remain withdrawn. Why? I will answer you later. And the fourth part is the journey to self discovery, becomes progressive. The aging process, we talk of lot of challenges. Oh, my son has done this, my daughter has done this, so I have this problem and that problem. You get rid of those problems in the third phase of the life. So these 40 steps also takes care of this issue. This issue. Another point that in Sadhana Panchkam, it targets the seeker. It does not target the non-seeker. Seeker knows the foundation. I told you, Mangalacharan, fourfold practices, power of discernment, and I have already explained you what the text teaches, how to bring an end to the suffering, how to meet the challenges of life in the modern age, how to awaken. What is this awakening? What exactly is the problem in thought, speech, and action causing endless suffering? How many groups of experiences? How to categorize those experiences in my life to get away with the conflict and duality? What to do when we are upset, complain, and blame? What exactly is the ego? We define it. Can we end it? And if yes, how to end it? So it means once we learn the first 15 steps, which involves karma yoga, which involves bhakti yoga, which involves raja yoga, which involves mantra, to bring about a tremendous change in our behavior and attitude. You can also say in modern way personality development, but in a different way. So gradually we are going to start these 40 steps. Let us close your eyes, get ready for the practice. That practice, you see, modern science uses this typical word, and the people says, oh, I have to believe it. Practice means kinesthetics, simple, hands-on experience. You have understood it. To the place of the journey, place of the kinesthetics, here and now. You experience the space around you and the place where you are sitting. Eyes are gently closed. Your eyes are softly, gently closed. It is not making an effort to see outside. And the position of the body, stage one. We are doing this stage one. Don't forget the stage three stages. And then the posture. So, as a seeker, you instantly recognize even a slight moment of discomfort, unease, you settle it, and PPP. Place, position, posture. Not only that, you're and comfortable and carefree also. I'm not dwelling deeply into that area also. You have If you have prepared some note or if you remember, I explained you being comfortable and carefree in, I would say, more than 50 ways during this journey. You pick up any and it will work if you remember any. So in the Gita, we have heard a couple of sessions before fixing the gaze between the eyebrow. It means that I should have a totally a third perception or awareness. So we just to become aware of the world outside, the world of multiplicity, become aware of the space around the body, and then you become aware of the body. It's a horizontal movement. Do you see that? The body is made of the world outside, the physical world, and then the breath, energy source. Energy source, which we see the prana remains as it is. It leaves one body, the tree becomes dry, it falls down. Prana is still there. Where? In the seed. I'm just giving you a glimpse of understanding. Oh, then deeper than the prana is the thought, feeling, and emotions. Oh, it's the mind. It is the subtle world. That is why we say the subtle body or the. Oh, beyond that, there is an intellect, which gives an idea of I-ness within. But is there something beyond that I-ness? We answer big yes. What is that? It is the real self. It acts as a reminder. Stage one is basically a passive state. I'm talking as if I'm just talking in a casual way. Why? So you don't overburden your mind. You move with the flow. In the practice also. We have a pet American phrase, move with the flow. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. We have reached to that state. What is beyond that? What is beyond that I-ness in the mind? What is beyond that? What is beyond that? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Did you understand that? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Can you connect that? Happiness is essential nature. Anything that is essential, anything that is essential has to be all pervading. If it is all pervading happiness, it means it is present everywhere and it is eternal. That is our search. And my honey is crazy. Behind that, craziness belongs to the I-ness and the mind, but behind that, the happiness is still there. Can I recognize? So if I recognize, then what happens? I don't get hesitated. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Same thing. What is beyond this I-ness, the eternal, all pervading peace consciousness? Not scratching your neck. Mind is outside. Sarvesham Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam. May there be completeness in all. Just imagine or think intellectually for a while, you are complete in yourself, whole. Will you be running after any kind of pleasure outside? Will you blame anyone for pain and reaction or your suffering? You are settled in yourself, the wholeness. So that is why we say the real self is complete in itself. So what happens? It brings an end to the binding desire. We are going to talk and understand. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham. In the state of peace, happiness, and wholeness, what is left now? Auspiciousness from moment to moment. That is the meaning of live from moment to moment. That is another expression. Can I live into that state of auspiciousness all the time? So now we will move to the second stage. The first stage is totally passive. Passive means 99% is knowledge. The stage one, 99% knowledge. Knowledge applied means is wisdom. In the second stage, in the second stage, we go for practice. You can say 50-50. So that is why I say look inside the forehead in the space. It becomes a practice with understanding. So we say, here is the third eye. Yes, there is a third eye. We are not talking of the right perception, right knowledge. So looking deep inside the forehead in the space, pick a point, keep looking there, and drop Om Shanti, the mantra, gently and softly. Check. You have a stillness in the body because you are comfortable and carefree. And then you start. Where do you start? You start breathing into the belly this time. You inhale, belly goes out, and you exhale, the belly goes in. So you need that level of awareness as a seeker. Your intellect moves the mind with the breath to the belly, goes in and out. What it means, you don't believe, you don't allow the mind to remain habitual. You break that habit. Continue breathing, continue breathing into the belly. Om Shanti continues in the stillness in the body, continues. It's a little longer breath, and you may have a hissing sound also. That sound makes your mind clear. It avoids any kind of resistance. If there is a resistance, use the intellect by a thought. No, no, I have to do it. Let me do it. Let me continue. No, mind wants to put into the tamoguna. That is why it stops. It says, no, I cannot do it. So I have to bypass it. Do you see? Now, this stage two is purely what uh, we do not understand pragmatically, supply based on the knowledge. We are doing the asana. It means stillness in the body is there. We are doing the mantra. We are doing the pratyahara. We are doing the pranayama. All goes into one step. Remember resistance. You have to bypass the resistance, that is tamoguna. by endurance, which is Rajoguna, and Rajoguna should lead you to Satoguna. What is Satoguna? You are doing the practice and you find joy of doing it. Oh, I can do it. What is the last step? Joy of being. Oh, 40th step, yes. Continue. The mind will play tantrum to you. It will move the body. Your mind will say, scratch it, but you become aware because you want to, you bypass the resistance and then you bypass the excuses the mind may have. Why it comes? Because of the impulses, the past impression. Mind says, I cannot remain in that state for a long, so let me scratch, let me move, let me. The moment you do this, the mind has taken over you. I believe you understand. As a seeker, as a non seeker, it's okay. For a non seeker, I will say, yes, it's okay, no problem. You fall into sleep, no problem. You change the posture, no problem. But now we are a seeker of a higher level. My friends, I believe you understand, you will appreciate this understanding. Continue. Continue breathing. Again, I'm repeating here. You are focused inside the forehead at a point. You are breathing into the belly. You are dropping Om Shanti, the mantra, in the state of the stillness in the body. Yes, another thing that will come, you will have a sudden experiences of tingling, of freezing the body, and the mind will associate it with the fear and anxiety. And your intellect return, and it will pacify that mind, even if you experience the freezing, heaviness, lightness, colors, and the visions. Continue. Remember the movement of the belly also. The movement of the body. And suddenly the mind stops raging. Mind says, leave it, leave me. We don't want to leave it. Now stop this. Watch how the breath returns to its normal breathing pattern. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. Maintain your awareness on the flow of the breath and also become aware. Are you still? Your normal breath is taking place through the belly or the rib cage. If it is happening 100% into the belly, that is also linked to the flow of the breath. When we were born, especially in a hospital, our gyno has patted on our belly. Is this guy breathing or not? They did not pat on the chest. That is what we say the normal breathing pattern. Because of lot of challenges and the illnesses and anxiety and stress, our breathing pattern switches to the chest breathing, which is known as the thoracic breathing. So you need not to worry. You just follow the breathing pattern, flow of the breath, pay attention to the flow of the breath, and one day you will see that 24 by 7, you will start breathing through the belly. Another big change. It will become deeper. Thoracic breathing, the breath rate is very high, higher than the normal. When you have a belly breathing, it normally becomes deeper. So your rate and rhythm of the breath is less than the normal. Means, I don't want to talk about it. It means what is known as parasympathetic dominance. So in that state, we have again to look at, again, we move into the passive state. We have already entered into the passivity, become aware of the sensation in the body, on the skin, experience a different sensation which aligns with the state of relaxation and the stillness. This is what I say external for the sake of understanding. And then look inside. Do you recognize any sensation inside the body? Maybe inside the head or the heart or in anywhere. It means the mind has become subtle. It can pick up the sensation inside, but it is associated with the state of the calmness and become aware of the space within. It is associated with the state of the quietness. You have left the crazy mind too far. And in our stage 2, we will again go to a semi active step. You start breathing little deep, silent, and slow. First into the belly, then into the rib cage in the stillness of the body. Awareness of the stillness of the body, awareness of the movement of the belly and the rib cage during inhalation and exhalation. Then, as you inhale, move the mind from the top center of the head down to the spine, reaching to the tailbone, singing mentally, singing loudly but mentally, no noise. Shanti, Shanti, ends at the tailbone, and while breathing out, the Shanti ends at the top of the head. With a deep, silent, and slow breathing, stillness in the body, moving the mind along the spine. Again, it is symbolic. So, those who do not understand the higher journey, then we say, yes, you can do that. Even if you do not understand, then we say you understand the chakra. And we associate the chakra with negative and the positive attributes. So the mind keeps on thinking about the positive attribute while practicing, so they move there. But we are using only the higher method. Shanti. Shanti. And you will recognize it's not a big deal. You will recognize as if you bypass the body. Body lives continuously, naturally in that state of the stillness. as if I'm separate from the body. You will get those clarity and awareness. Yes, my friend, now we'll move to the uh, third stage. It is all about self absorption stage, but we will do 16 segments of the fingers. We will do Om Shanti. Drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of finger without moving your thumb there means what? We want to check. There is a complete withdrawal of the senses along with the mind so that the mind can go deeper or mind can merge. That is why we are doing those 16 segments. Om Shanti. Whether you do Om Shanti, or Om Shanti mentally without moving the lips or the tongue, it depends on the state of the mind. If the mind moves with a pure emotion, you may say Om Shanti. Or if it moves purely with simple awareness, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So you're learning from your own experiences. But we are adding a couple of more steps in the journey as we continue. Phase number 3. Now is the time. Leave this. Visualize the triangle in the cave of your heart. Equilateral triangle pointing upward, moving the mind with Om Shanti on each side of the triangle, moving it clockwise and anti-clockwise naturally, discovering that it is sinking easily. You have no issue. The mind is in the purest state, and that is the moment. You're pushing the mind with mental singing. Oh. You're watching. Mind seemingly stops. Shanti. And now you're doing nothing. You have already immersed the mind deeper within as the wave merges into an ocean of water, and that is the waiting period. Or you can say transition phase. We'll talk about. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. Brandy, you may be in a hurry, so let us have your experiences first.
I'm not in a hurry. I guess my realization today, or my reminder, is that the bodies of the world, so it gets satisfied by things of the world and it asks for that. And we have to be disciplined enough to also tell ourselves regularly that we're separate from that, that we're the real self, that we kind of have to unhook from all um, this body stuff. So
Yes.
that was what I was working on in my practice.
Yes, it's a great realization. Ultimately, how we explain in Eastern wisdom that I have a recognition or a cognition that I am not the body. But in the seeker's phase of the journey, we say it is my body. Yes, I have to work on the body, but I am not the body. So I'm constantly aware that I'm not the body, but yes, it's my body, so let me work on it. And that's what we are working in meditation. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you very much. Um, I recognize the importance of the japa, and realizing that it's not just about the japa itself, that the japa is just it just encompasses the entire practice, the entire teachings, and it's become extremely relevant in my daily practice, and I apply it throughout the entire day, and I'm seeing the difference. So I thank you for that. As far as today's meditation, it was just pure peace. My biggest challenge was actually coming out of it. So
Good.
thank you.
Very good. Coming out of the meditation is really, if it is difficult, obviously the mind is absorbed deeper within. So our intellect uses the mantra, say Om Shanti. Om is pure consciousness, all pervading, which manifests peace. That is the mantra that we can do the mantra Om, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. The intellect should point out internally when we are doing the mantra. That is the direct approach. And even if we are doing it regularly, the time comes, the intellect reveals this knowledge. And then definitely it helps the way Stephen is saying. Very good. So, how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Both lesson and meditation were excellent. The lesson, the one takeaway I had was the ego prevents us finding our true self. So that kind of resonated with me, but there was lots of little bits in there that I'll enjoy re-listening to and focusing on. The meditation itself. As soon as you said, find that spot between your eyes, it was like a vortex. and my entire meditation was focused going down that vortex up until we did the triangle of the heart. So it was very, very, very deep. I can't remember much more than that, actually.
Yes, that symbolic expression revealed by the mind helps to go very deeper into the meditation. That vortex stuff. Remember this. This will definitely help in our journey of the self discovery. Beautifully, beautifully said. How are you, Jed?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. My takeaway just after listening to Brandy and the lesson and Stephen and David was that I really love to play instruments. So that's kind of how I'm not the instrument, I'm not the mind or the body, but I like the attitude that I get to play with it. I get to use it. And so sometimes it presents out of tune. Let's just say it may seem out of tune, but I get to tune it then to the best of the ability. It someday won't be tuned at all. But then I get to figure out how I'm going to play with it then. So I like to look at it.
It's a really a very higher principle that body, mind, breath, intellect, and ego are all our instruments. Say, for example, I'm speaking. I will definitely say that I'm speaking to you all. But at the same time, can there be an awareness that it is the throat, larynx, lips, the prana, and the memory, and the mind, and the intellect, all are instruments which is coming out and expressing. It's a so if we accept a big challenge, there may be a big transformation. But follow your own follow your own way, whatever your mind says. So Jerry's mind says this, it is okay. David says, no, I have to drop ego. Why we want to focus on the ego part? Because the ego prevents the realization. Simple. Ego causes the delusion. Ego causes the projection. So it is his way. So the same way it is the way of Stephen and the Brandy. So follow your unique way. That is going to help us a great deal. Very good. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. The meditation was deep and absorbed, and I was wondering if it's normal as you progress to almost want to resist some social activities and other things in the external world because you're finding more peace from within.
Yes, yes. So it is always good to analyze if there is any resistance to any social activities. The intellect should analyze and discern, is this activity worth attending? I heard, I think last month or maybe 70-year-old was trailing in the mountain in Arizona, and he had a heart attack. When I'm 70 years old, I have to look at it. I should not push beyond the limit. So that is one way to say it. Another way to say it is to understand that those social activities, can I withdraw myself? Yes, whenever I go to those social activities, my mind becomes more impulsive. It is more reactive. The way the young guy does not want to go amongst his friends to a bar on the weekend. So that is also a social activity. So it all depends on you, how you use your intellect, you discern and choose the right one. So it is always good. But otherwise, in normal pattern, it is always good to avoid. But how you avoid? Don't create a resistance. Huh? That is also very important. give a befitting reply to those people that why you ever. No, I was so busy, I was so busy. I had to do a lot of things. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My meditation was seamless and comfortable. There was no resistance from the mind. Breathing was equal, and it was belly breathing. And at the end, I remember the deep, dark space and calmness.
Yes, beautiful. Deep, dark, calm space. So we are waiting in that space. I wanted to tell you. So once we reach there, we are doing nothing and we are waiting, as if to say, to reveal. How long we have to wait, I don't know. Neither you know it. How are you, Terry?
I benefited from the belly breathing.
Good.
It was helping me with the physical
Yes.
well, but also not to be distracted by that physical. It helped
Yes.
me that way. So it was
What you
smooth.
say, Terry? Oh, yes, complete it first.
No, smooth. It
Smooth.
was, yeah.
When you are breathing from the belly, it simply means, scientifically, it is a diaphragmatic breathing. To expand it further, you are breathing into the lower lobes of the lungs. So when your mind says, I have a problem of breathing, that has more of a mental and the emotional blockage. You have told me a couple of times. So you have to recognize it is an emotional blockage. Can I try with the belly breathing again and see what happens? Because you
Today,
are able to do it today.
yes. And the Nyasa is
Yes,
I'm very
yes.
drawn to that.
We cannot say that your belly breathing pattern changes tomorrow. No, it is physical. Whatever the ability you have with the lower lobes of the lungs, which you have shown today, will also continue tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
good.
good. Yes, that's a good level of awareness. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So practice was calm. Like mind was totally absorbed. It was quiet, not distracting much.
Not no distraction. That's good. So very smooth. It also means that we are a seeker. We did not find any distraction, any challenge. How are you, sir? Ashok, sir.
Sir, namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, sir, I am in peace and calm, and sir, something. I mean, some changes in my thinking is going on in the during the daytime. Also, I assume that there is a triangle, and I
Yeah.
do the Om Shanti as well. And something is going, but I will let you know later on. Well, let it happen in a good
Yeah, yeah.
sense. And I'm in peace and calm, nothing to worry, nothing to ask. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, I was telling this young guy that moment you see your girlfriend, you simply say Om Shanti first, internal. She is an epitome of Om Shanti. The moment you are eating something and your mind says overeating, you drop Om Shanti.
Om
So
Shanti.
let it hold back. So I'm just giving some idea what you need to do. Yes, yes, we can also do the visualize the triangle in the space and you drop Om Shanti. That's another way to do it. Yes, that will help us to gain our power of discernment. Ah, beautiful. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Thank
Namaste,
you, sir.
everyone.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste,
you.
everyone.
Music.